back to Big Rails Yarning. This video is about the 6 stitches you need to know in order to be perfect at crocheting. And there really is only 6 stitches that you really need to know, because most of the specialty stitches are some kind of combination of these stitches. In another video we'll explore some of the more specialized stitches, such as puff stitches and popcorns and stuff like that. So as always, I'm using Bernay Maker Fashion for this demo, just because it's super easy to see. And I am using a 6.5mm hook. Alright, so we're going to start with the first stitch, and that would be a chain stitch. So let's start with our slip knot. Okay, so we go over like this, and then we bring our tail up and through, like that. There we are. Slip knot. And we're going to insert our hook in there, just like that. Okay, so the first stitch is the chain stitch. So you wrap your hook around your yarn and you pull it through the loop on your hook. Okay, I know a lot of people are curious about tension and worry about doing it too tight or too loose. Basically what you should be doing is practicing your chain stitch. So just chain and chain and chain and chain and pull it out and chain again until you get a consistent tension. Okay, it doesn't have to be somebody else's perfect tension. As long as it's consistent, that's all that matters. So here's our chain stitch. Notice the consistency there. How many did we do here? I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we did 14. So most of the patterns or videos that you watch will tell you what chain to go into. So we'll say for single crochets, it's always the second chain from the hook. So this is one chain right here. Okay, and then this is the second chain here. So you go into there, just like that. You pull up a loop, you yarn over, and you pull through 2. And we're going to do that all the way to the end of the row. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. Insert your hook, wrap the yarn, yarn over, pull through 2. All the way along. My yarn keeps getting caught. All the way to the end of the row. If my yarn would stop getting stuck on stuff, well, on itself really. And you notice with single crochet how on the chain it does curl. This is normal, perfectly normal for your first row. Yeah, you can fix it just by giving it a little bit of a tug. And it's because when you're doing single crochets, you're actually bringing the chains closer together. So if you measure your chain before you do your single crochet row, you'll find that it's a little bit longer than after you do your single crochet row. Right. So there is your single crochets. The next one that you need to know is a half double. So at the beginning of your row, you have 2 options for your next stitch. You can chain 2, well, you can chain 1 or 2, okay, and you can count that as your first stitch, or you can go into this very first stitch here and count that as your first stitch. So half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the appropriate stitch, pick up your yarn, pull it through. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. 1, 2, 3. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to do it again. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull it through, and there you go. If you take a look at the top of your work, there's these little V's. When you're inserting your hook on regular stitches, you want to go through both loops, both sides of the V. Okay. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Sometimes it'll call for a front loop only or back loop only. So for a front loop, we're going to yarn over and we're going to go in between the 2 loops. So you're going right up the middle of the V, yarn over and pull through. Okay, we'll do another one like that. Yarn over, fingers don't want to work, there we go. Up the middle of the V, pull through all 3. For a back loop only, we're going to do the same thing, only we're going to go into this back loop only. So instead of going up the middle of the V, we're going to go down the middle of the V. This, grab your yarn, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, we're going to do another one. So again, there's the V. Insert your hook into the middle of the V, yarn over, and pull through, just like that. Now the reason for doing front and back loop only is because it creates a ridge. As you can see, the 2 stitches there and the 2 stitches there. So it creates a really interesting ridge look. Okay, so we're going to go with some more regular half double crochets here. So insert both through both, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert in between the 2 through both V's, yarn over, and there you go. If you're unsure of where your stitch is, you can always pull it a little bit and you'll see the little holes. Those are the holes you want to go in. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so now we're getting to the last stitch. You need to make sure that you put a stitch in this last stitch, otherwise it'll get all wonky and you'll just find that your rows are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So we're going to yarn over, insert in there just like that, yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, nice even row. And as you notice, my tension is the same all the way through. That's why I suggest that you chain and chain and chain and keep practicing your chain stitch in order to ensure that you get a full piece with equal tension. So for a double crochet, beginning of the row, we're going to chain 2, and I prefer not to use my chain as a stitch. If you do use a chain as a stitch, you want to go into the top loop at the end. So for this demonstration, we'll count this as a stitch. So we skip this one here because this chain belongs to this stitch. Okay, so if the chain counts as a stitch, you skip this first hole. Okay, so we're going to go into the next one. So yarn over, just like in a half double, we're going to insert through both loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through only 2 loops, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So what we did was we did 2 single crochets stacked on top of each other. Okay, so we're going to do it again, yarn over, insert, pull through. Okay, we're going to do 1 single crochet, done, yarn over, and second single crochet. And again, there's 1 and there's 2. Okay, we're going to go to the end of the row. Yarn over, pull through, 1 and over, through 2 loops, through 2 loops, yarn over, insert, through 2 loops, through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops, through 2 loops, through 2 loops, through 2 loops. If there are any specialty stitches that you want me to cover, please leave a comment to that effect. Pull pull through. That way I make sure that I get everybody's desires covered. Okay, so here we are back at the last stitch, and notice how it's a little weird and folded. You want to still make sure that you go in it. And if you're not doing front loop, back loop, you want to go through both loops. So you can see there's 2 loops there. Run over and 2. Now for a triple crochet, it's the same as a double crochet, but instead of doing 2 singles on top of each other, we're going to do 3. Okay, so we're going to chain the beginning of a row so that we get the height that we want. And because we're not counting this chain this time as a stitch, we're going to go right into this loop right here. So we're going to yarn over twice, because remember we're doing 3 single crochets on top of each other. So this will be 1, this will be 2, and this will be 3. So we insert into our stitch, we pull through, going to yarn over, close 1 single crochet, yarn over, close 2 single crochets, yarn over, close 3 single crochets. We're going to do it again, yarn over twice, insert our hook, yarn over, there's 1, 2, and 3. Now American terminology is different from European terminology, but the stitches are all the same. Right, so you will be doing one of these stitches, it's just what they call it that'll be different. Now every pattern should have a legend of stitches. So that's a section at the beginning of the pattern that explains the stitches that you're going to be doing and their abbreviations. So an SC, actually we'll start at the beginning. A CH is a chain stitch. An SC is a single crochet. HDC, half double crochet. DC, double crochet. TC is a triple crochet. Now I will list those in the bottom in the description so that you can, oops, we're doing triples here, so that you actually have a visual reference so that you know what each of the symbols look like. And through 2 and 3 single crochets on top of each other. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And 1, 2, 3. Again, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And again. I lost that loop. 1, 2, and 3. Now if you remember on the previous row, we used the chain as our first stitch. So when you come to the last stitch of a row that has a chain stitch below it, you go into the top of the chain. So as you see here, there's the top of the chain, and this is the V that you're looking for right here. Right here, this one. Okay, and you want to go through both of these loops, this one and this one. So we're going to yarn over twice. We're going to go into both loops. Okay, see I have both loops on my hook. And we're going to pull through. We're going to close 1 single crochet, close 2 single crochets, and close 3 single crochets. Okay, so we've got chain, we've got single, we've got half double, we've got double, and we've got triple. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the stitches you need to know. The last one is a slip stitch. So I'm not going to chain because you don't need height. So chaining is so that you have height to work into the next stitch. But because we don't need height for a slip stitch, I'm not going to chain. So you go into both loops, you pick up your yarn, just like that. Now, instead of yarning over and pulling through, you're just going to carry this second loop right through the first loop, just like that. And again, both loops, 2 loops on your hook, and there we go, just like that. Insert your hook, and through one, just like that. The only place you yarn over is at the back of the stitch. Through just like that, and there we go. You carry this all the way to the end of the row. And then I'll show you where to go into a slip stitch for the next row. Now, slip stitching is often used to get to a specific place. So when you're doing in the round or you're doing granny squares, it will often say slip stitch into the corner. So say there's a corner over here, you want to slip stitch each stitch till you get to the place that you want to be. And this is the last stitch, and there we go. So there's your slip stitch row. And if you take a look, we still have those V's. Okay, we'll turn it here. Okay, and you want to go into the V just like you did before, but be careful because sometimes your hook wants to go into these stitches below because it's easier. So we'll do half doubles just to be, I'm just going to chain one, just because they're simple. Yarn over, see the V, and this is where you want to go in, right at the junction of the V, pull through. You want to make sure that you keep your tension consistent and don't do these slip stitches too tightly, or you will find that you can't get your hook in there. Okay. Sometimes slip stitches are done to give texture or to put a small amount of a certain color in, or just to add an element of interest to a pattern. Okay, so there's our half doubles. We're going to do a couple singles just as a refresher. We're going to insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and close. Insert our hook. Oh, see, I did this one too tight. I keep bumping the camera. Yeah, this one I did too tight. There we go. And we're going to pull through. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, now let's do a double crochet just as a refresher. Yarn over once, insert your hook into the stitch, pull through a loop, yarn over, close 1 single crochet, and close 2 single crochets. And one more time, insert our hook, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And again, did this one a little tight too. There we go. Yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through. And just as a refresher, our triple, yarn over twice because we're having 3 single crochets on top of each other. Pull through your loop. There's 1 single crochet, yarn over, there's 2 single crochets, yarn over, there's 3 single crochets. And one more time. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and yarn over, pull through 3. 1, 2, 3. I obviously can't count. And a double, we're going to go close 1 single crochet, close 2 single crochets, a half double crochet we're going to go into here. Okay, and we're going to close as a single crochet, but we're taking an extra loop with us all the way through, just like that. And the last stitch we're going to do as a single crochet. Remember, we didn't chain because we don't need the height, but I pulled it a little tight. So I'm just going to go through back loop. Nope, maybe not. A little bit of a tug. There we go. And I'm only going through the front loop, obviously. Well, I'd like to go through both loops, but I don't know if it's going to let me. There we go, through both loops, and pull up a loop, and yarn over, and pull through 2. There we go. The only 6 stitches you need to know in order to be successful at crochet. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the little bell so that you can remember, so that you get notified about when I put out new videos. Also pop over to my Facebook group, Binkerbell's Yarning, and join that as well so that you can get all of the latest updates. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.